Wake up, Jamaica. Are you about to face economic shock? Is the US dollar really collapsing? Are politicians distracted while global powers are shifting the financial system? Or is this just fear being amplified? Today we are breaking this down logically. No panic, no gossip, just facts.
Around Jamaica, the nation doesn't own anything. Nothing is state-owned. Highways are supposed to be income generator for a nation. Jamaica doesn't own that. They do not own the ports. They do not own the wharf, the airport, that's gone. Now, the cockpit country will be destroyed. The backside is not state-owned. Now, we have lost everything that should be earning revenue for us. Think about the tourist industry. Do you see Jamaicans owning these major all-inclusive hotels? No. These are the new slave plantations owned by foreigners. Go to the hotel right now to spend the weekend and talk to the people who work there. You have people working in these major hotels for months without pay. Months. Some of them get a free ride from the town center to the hotel, and the staff bus, and them get some free lunch. That's it. They depend on the gratuity of the good people. This is an all-inclusive hotel. You don't have to tip them. But people do tip them. That's how they survive. Now, you wonder why teachers, nurses, police officers, soldiers, all these people who are supposed to be developing the nation are running away from Jamaica. You can't live a meaningful life in Jamaica unless you're corrupted. And you guys don't come in here and talk about how X, Y, and Z do it. 90% of these people earn their income and their wealth and their fortune through illicit means. I'm talking about legal people. Law-abiding people. You understand? People who actually live a life that's meaningful and filled with integrity. Then you wonder why people leave Jamaica. I know everybody want corrupt. I know everybody want do wrongs. And we have some leaders who does not care. And it's sad. It aches us. It aches us that the people who are supposed to be providing opportunities are taking them away. John, no, it's rough.
Jamaica, let me ask you one question. Yeah? So I sit on the Star where Rhoda, the MP, Central Manchester, nice young lady, based on when we meet the eye, right? And you're telling me that no, it is a big talk and a big discussion all over. The newspaper and everybody are waste quality time to talk about what an alleged relationship between Andrew Holness and Rhoda, and all the fact that Juliet Holness I give her a cold shoulder. With all due respect, I personally, I don't give a rat's ass as to who Andrew want there with, or who Mark Golden want there with, or who Rhoda want there with. We don't care. We don't business with that. There are far too much important things in the friggin' country for us to be majoring in those minor things. We don't give a rat's ass. Who want there with who have found a business? I am concerned about the fact that there's a rapid global shift in how we trade. The BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, BRICS, go do no research. 97 countries will be joining the BRICS. Jamaica is not a part of that. Why? Because the US dollar a crash and nobody not talk about in the damn sitting. Nobody in the flipping country is talking about this thing. You have a big old fat one from over nationwide. Who him sit down every day like some big old mama lashy. A gossip about garbage. When him should be the one talking about these things and what the government should be doing. When the Ministry of Finance should be protecting the Jamaican people from something that is coming by now on September the latest. I am not a financial advisor. I am not offering financial advice. Everything is for educational purposes. Yeah? But I am very much aware as to what is happening. The news did about una promote them news. Una still a try to hang on to the dirty banking system that we have here. that has failed the Jamaican people miserably. People money are going missing like a nut in your NCB on an attack. On an attack, say cryptocurrency is now the order of the day and point Jamaicans to these to this open market where some of these people can take a little much of them off, go trade and turn it into much more. But you cannot do that because of the monopoly where you play with the Jamaican people them. Where you want them to come out and look at dirty bank when now protect the people their money. You not attack. When you supposed to talk in our country. I can't talk about flipping Rhoda and Andrew Wallace. Who gives a rat's ass? Who cares? We not care. We are concerned about the 1.6 trillion Jamaican dollar that cannot be found. We are concerned about the flipping illicit six. We are concerned about the teachers who are dying. Suddenly, sudden deaths. And the Ministry of Health is quiet while focusing on a flipping focus. And who? On the Ministry of Health? Because he get lick off a bicycle? Wow! It is so coincidental that Mr. Valiant, who is one of the most popular Jamaican, loved and respected by the ghetto youths them because of his craft and his talent. It's so coincidental that at a time when the country should be focused on matters of importance, you lick him off. You utter everybody on bicycle, you lick off Tufton. Off a bicycle. Bicycle. You lick him off and then break him wrist and it becomes news and everybody is saying flipping well wishes. We want to know about the genocide that has been committed against the Jamaican people them. Christopher Tufton need to sit down in a courthouse in front of some judge, some serious people who are ready to ask, what made my mama dead from this thing where only force if we take? 20% of Jamaica took the stinking dirty vaccine. And our teachers are dying. And nobody wants to talk about how they died. And the families of these people refuse to ask for independent personnel outside of the country to come and do proper autopsy on them people. Why make them dead so sudden? Because we want to know. AstraZeneca was removed from the flipping market because now we know that we who were talking, we're not telling you say, that's something not right. Or to force it upon we. You, Christopher Tufton, tell the people them say, if you don't want water, take a vaccine. And Jamaicans are pretend like you don't know. Let me tell you this, you know. Yo, you see me telling you already, you know. Me telling you, know. Them people here in the government don't mean no good, you know. And people keep wondering, why am I so angry? I am angry because me grew up in a good yard. Where we learn to love and respect everybody. And they care for me Jamaican people them. And to sit and watch how politicians constantly rob and rape we. And kill half the people them. We would like to talk about the medical apartheid that was committed on 20% of Jamaicans. You hear me telling you? The mass genocide. Don't shove it on the friggin' carpet. You think a little place to go and we have to put our mask and rubbing alcohol every friggin' day upon we until some of we hand dry out like chip? Because I want to tell you how dangerous COVID was. Where is it now? Want to carry it in one buckle? Where there? Where COVID there? Where is it? Where is there? And we should just pardon no. We should just forget about it and Jamaicans busy at talk about who for party if we go back in the power. Una talk about who for party if we go back in the power. And this, let me tell you this, you know. Let me tell you this, you know. Let me tell you this. Wake up. Wake up. You see by now in September, this is my prediction based on my analysis of what's happening globally with the rapid financial shift. Me say, yo, you see the pandemonium we're going to break out in Jamaica. Watch a joke. You think politicians don't have them passports and here much of them have dual and triple and triple citizenship? And maybe quadruple citizenship? Them can fly out here anytime. Any flipping time. You see the rest of us can't leave here, sir. With the 290 odd active gang according to the Ministry of National Security that is here. When them man they hungry and start kick off on the door, all who can protect themselves, protect on themselves. Anybody who can left us, left us. You see, uno politician, you see when the people them ready for uno, your thing say is Molotov bomb, them are go fling over Garden House. And look at that. Today, Juliet Holness, you had the audacity of talking about how no one for instantly, with immediate effect, advance security at Garden House. But the many Jamaicans who are being robbed and raped, and the fact that we have Jamaicans going missing by the minute. More than 2,000 Jamaicans go missing per year since 2018. That is a report that came out of the Ministry of National Security. When you go doing a research, over 2,000 Jamaicans go missing every year. We never know. 151 children went missing last year. Out of the 151, 34 were girls. 134 girls. Already for this year, we have a number of Jamaicans who have gone missing, and nobody can talk about it. We're not talking about these things. When you get up and talk about Rhoda and Andrew and Juliet and a family kind of video them, you don't want to share, you don't want to flipping share. Because you don't want to hear the truth. You don't get up over there chat about freaking gossip every goddamn day. You don't want to talk about these things. Jamaicans are about to go into a state of shock. The US dollar is going to be dying a horrible death by now. And September, the latest, can't sound never year. The BRICS are going to release them dollars. 97 countries will be joining the BRICS, and Jamaica is not one of them. Why would 97 countries be joining an organized body that is bent on de-dollarizing the US dollar? You don't know nobody talk about this. So I want to send people, I want to find people. Let me tell you something. You see me, I mean one and God mark. I want to send them, whoever I want to send them. Watch a joke in this country. Watch a revolution where we are start here, so. No.
The speaker claims Jamaica doesn't own major revenue assets anymore. Highways, ports, airports, and hotels. And now let's be real. Jamaica has entered public-private partnerships over the years. Some assets are leased or concessioned to foreign companies. That doesn't automatically mean they own nothing. But here is the real question. Are these deals benefiting Jamaicans long term? That's the conversation we should be having. Teachers, nurses, police officers migrating. That part is fact. Jamaica has experienced brain drain for years. The issue isn't just corruption. It's wage gaps compared to the UK, US, and Canada. Working conditions and cost of living. This isn't new, but it is serious. The rant dismisses gossip about Andrew Holness and Juliet Holness and says media should focus on crime, financial preparedness, and national security. Now, whether you support or oppose them politically, the bigger question is, are you talking enough about economic pressure? That's fair criticism. The speaker references BRICS. BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And its goal is to trade in local currency, reduce dependency in US dollars, increase economic cooperations. And important facts are, it is not a replacement of government. It is not an oversight system. It doesn't instantly destroy the dollar. The US dollar still dominates oil trade, global reserves, international banking. Shift, possibly long term. Collapse tomorrow, highly unlikely. BRICS is expanding. Countries are exploring trade outside the US dollar. But here is the truth. De-dollarization is gradual. The US dollar is still the dominant global reserve currency. It doesn't just collapse by September. Predictions of instant chaos, that's speculation. And panic helps nobody. The rant mentions Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica, AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Here is where we must be careful. These are serious accusations. Words like genocides are extremely strong. If there is evidence, present it. If not, we cannot turn fear into fact. Health transparency, yes. Spreading unverified claims, no. Missing persons and gang activity are real concerns in Jamaica. That conversation deserves national focus. But we must use verified statistics, not emotional amplification. Jamaica doesn't need panic. Jamaica needs preparation. If global shifts are coming, diversify trade, strengthen local production, protect citizens, demand transparency. But fear-based predictions, that weakens you. Stay informed, stay calm. Do your research and hold leaders accountable with facts.